All right, what is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in. Post-game show here on Hoops Talk. I'm Alan Slewa. Lakers lose their first game of the season. Phoenix Suns over the Lakers, 109-105. Tough game. Lakers early on had a big lead. It was really gone by the time we got to halftime. Actually, the lead was gone by the time we got to halftime. A lot of different storylines in this game. You know, I think there's a couple different ways to look at this loss. Obviously, we'll get into it. We'll talk about LeBron's night tonight. We'll talk about some of the positives, some of the negatives. Had a chance there at the end, 109-105, the final score. Lakers had their opportunities. Couple moments in the game in the fourth quarter, I thought, hey, I think Lakers are going to pull this out. And then certainly some more moments late in the game. Lakers, some missed opportunities, not enough defensive stops, kind of a sloppy game, ugly game, to be honest with you, all the way through. And I do think it's, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for the Lakers, but I will tell you this, and I really actually do feel this way. They look tired. This team looked like, I think they played 3 games in 4 nights, and they look like they played 3 games in 4 nights. So we'll get into all the individual player performances. We'll talk a little bit about what went right, what went wrong, and ultimately at the end of the day, it's an L, and there's no really other way to look at it. I think for the Lakers, games like this, I don't know if you guys were listening this morning, but when I was doing my morning show, I did say that, look, it's going to be a tough one tonight. Wouldn't be surprised if they lost this game. Part of it had to do with the fact that they beat the Phoenix Suns just a couple of nights ago. It was the second game of the season. And Phoenix had blown a big lead. Remember, Phoenix had a 22-point lead on the Lakers. And then by the time we got to halftime, I think it was 9. By the time you started the fourth quarter, Lakers had a lead. Complete flip in this game. Lakers started out the game. By the time the first quarter was done, they were up 34-25. But they started out the game, I want to say it was 26-8. I'm pretty sure. I want to double check here. I know at one point Lakers were up 18 points. So 26-8 was the score early on. And it looked like the Lakers, hey, they came here to send a message to the Phoenix Suns. They came here to certainly start the season 2-0 against them and to start the season out 4-0. But that did not happen. 109-105, the final score. I remember one specific stretch in the second quarter, and then I'll start talking about some of the individual players. But one specific stretch, Lakers were just awful without Anthony Davis. I mean, point blank, they were awful without Anthony Davis. Lakers had a 14-point lead. Anthony Davis sat 9 minutes into, there's 3 minutes left in the first quarter. So this is when he goes out. About 9 minutes left, or he plays 9 minutes of the first quarter, 3 minutes left, he's going to sub out. So he subs out, and instantly the Phoenix Suns, from the end of the first quarter to the start of the second quarter, 17-3 run without Anthony Davis. Let's stay with that for a quick second, because I think this is going to be a really good experience and sample, and however you want to look at it. Lakers are going to have to learn from this, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. One of the things that I hate most in any of these games, I hate hero ball. I just can't stand hero ball. And sometimes hero ball works. And when it works, then you find yourself kind of going back to it. I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean. Anthony Davis was just completely dominant. I think by the time the first quarter was done, he had 16 points. He had 4 rebounds. He had a couple block shots. He was fantastic. There was no answer at all for Anthony Davis. The problem for the Lakers is AD has to sub out at times, and he has to get a rest. And I feel the Lakers offensively and defensively are just all over the place, at least tonight when Anthony Davis subbed out. And when I'm talking about hero ball, just too many times I felt like with Braun, and listen, this is a tough one because it was LeBron just a couple nights ago that was having a triple-double that single-handedly went through a stretch there in the fourth quarter where the Lakers went on a 21-3 run against the Sacramento Kings, and they end up beating the Kings primarily because of what LeBron James did. And Anthony Davis, of course, and a couple other players that were contributing, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Rui. You had a few guys. I think 6 guys scored in double figures against Sacramento. But in a game like this, what I want to see more of when Anthony Davis is not there, do you really want a 39 or 40-year-old taking that much of the burden when AD's on the bench? I know LeBron can do it. I'm not telling you that LeBron can't. He just did it a couple nights ago. But what I would like to see from this team is let's get some ball movement. Let's use LeBron as a decoy. Let LeBron kind of run, maybe if he wants to run a little bit of a point guard perspective and get other guys involved. Get guys off of screens. Use LeBron sometimes as bait to get somebody cutting back door. Listen, if LeBron hits those shots, then nobody's saying anything. But LeBron didn't have it tonight. LeBron had 11 points tonight. His streak since, 2007, where he scored in double digits, since 2007, one of the craziest streaks that's out there, it was almost broken tonight. Not only did LeBron not have it going tonight, he looked tired. LeBron looked like he had played 3 games in 4 nights. He looked like those legs were not the LeBron James legs that he had a couple of nights ago. Okay, that's common. That's often. I'm not shocked or surprised that that's happened to LeBron as he's about to turn 40. But in moments like that, can you find ways? Is it D'Angelo Russell? Is it Austin Reeves? Is it Dalton Connect? Is it Max Christie? Is it Rui Hachimura? You need your entire squad helping out and contributing when Anthony Davis isn't there. One thing that I would say that I don't think I'm that crazy about, too many times I felt like AD and Rui were subbing out together. 2 such big weapons, great size, guys that – I mean, Jackson Hayes was in there with LeBron, and I kind of was like, well, what is Jackson Hayes going to do with Bron? How is he going to help LeBron? LeBron is going to need help. If his shot is not going, LeBron's going to need other guys that can attack, other guys that can take some of the pressure off of him, other guys that can be a threat on offense. Jackson Hayes is not going to be that. Listen, can Jackson Hayes grab a couple rebounds? Can he cut to the basket? Can he catch some lobs? He could do that, but he's not going to create for himself. So that's the one thing that I probably take most away from this game. And I'll get into all the individual players, and there's other things I obviously see from there as well. But the thing that stands out to me the most is LeBron did not look fresh by any stretch of the imagination, and also felt like he was forcing some shots up there in stretches of that second quarter, in stretches of that end of the third to the fourth quarter. Like I mentioned, when Anthony Davis had to get rest. Look, AD's got to get his rest. He played 36 minutes, so it's not like he didn't play. And I know JJ Redick is trying to be very strategic with how he uses both of these guys. LeBron played 36 minutes. I mean, do we really want to see LeBron and Anthony Davis both playing 36 minutes? But I guess they have to. Let's take a quick listen here. JJ Redick is talking. He looks a little ticked off, which makes me want to go to him. Let's take a quick look here. Here is JJ Redick. Let me get it set up. Spectrum SportsNet. Here is.
So everybody that was on the floor knew what was happening, and it was an insane miss, to be honest with you. I don't know that I've ever seen an intentional miss that hit the bottom of the rim and then went straight down. Look, we had no timeouts. It was a choice that we made. I think that's the right choice, and I'd make that choice again. With that amount of time, they fouled up 3. So even if we fouled earlier on that play, they've got, great free throw shooters. They're going to foul us again. So we had to get that. We had to get that possession for us to have a chance to tie or win the game.
All right, JJ, another choice. With 40 seconds or so to go, you guys had that timeout, and you drew up that play for Austin. Kind of a really good look there. What was kind of the 2-3 sort of calculus in that moment?
We would have been fine with either.
All right.
You mentioned the overall.
I'm going to stop there on JJ. By the way, I almost did the exact same thing I did. I almost ended the stream again like I did last time. Freaking idiot. Okay, let's keep going here. I want to go to that last possession. I actually thought it was a smart play. LeBron, Lakers down. They foul. Phoenix fouls. Lakers don't have any timeouts left. By the way, on JJ Redick, you got to save a timeout or two. Got to have a timeout or two in positions like that. So I've told you guys this, and this is going to be the theme here. Lakers were not going 82-0. We all know that. So nobody's going to trip out here that the Lakers are not 82-0. But we're going to find certain games where there are L's. What's it going to look like? Why did they lose that game? Did JJ Redick do something right? Did JJ Redick do something wrong? where's some of the criticism. That just comes with the sport. It's okay. None of it is personal. When Lakers had the ball down 3 and LeBron was trying to get a shot off, I think 7.5 seconds left, something like that, and he kind of slipped and fell, and instantly the Suns of Mike Budenholzer fouled LeBron James. It was smart. It was smart. I know that happens probably not enough of the times in the NBA, but if you foul somebody, you got to go to the free throw line, take 2. But when you don't have a timeout, it's a no-brainer, foul them. And that's what the Phoenix Suns did. 2 things there. Number one, if you're JJ Redick, you got to have a timeout in your back pocket, period. For a situation like that, predicament like that, you have to be able to have a timeout in your back pocket for those types of situations. Just something to keep in mind there. Okay. The other part of it, LeBron not trying to hit the 2 free throws, hits the first one and misses the second one on purpose. Actually, not just a smart play, it was millimeters, less than an inch away from hitting the rim at the right spot to where that ball would have bounced right back to him. So I thought Bron was doing the right thing there, but that's a little bit more of a desperate situation in regards to that. All right, I do want to see some of the comments here, and then instantly we'll get back to some of this other stuff. Wash King, not at all. He was tired. I don't know how else to put it. I'll simplify it for everybody. He was very, very tired, and you could tell. That Wash King you're talking about had 32, 14, and 10, or 32, 12, and 10, whatever it was against Minnesota or against, Sacramento a couple days ago. So I don't think he's washed. That's why, to me, it's so important when Anthony Davis is at a game, you got to have the right weapons in there. And if Bron, I go back to this, if he's trying to play hero ball and that shot's not falling, that's just not good basketball. And there were a couple of possessions, specifically when Anthony Davis was out, where I'm like, yeah, that's not going to get it. That's not going to get the job done. LeBron was empty, looked so tired. I agree with you. I got tired from him. I kept looking at LeBron. I'm like, all right, I'm getting winded here. D'Lo needs to step up on defense, or he needs to go trade him. Listen, I think I've been probably too critical on D'Angelo Russell to start off. I think most people know how I feel on D'Lo. He started the game out great. I think in that first quarter alone, D'Lo had 6 assists. Yeah, I wrote it down. He had 6 assists. The ball was moving. Lakers took a big lead. They were cooking. Everybody felt like they were comfortable. Everybody was sharing the ball. The shots were going down, and D'Lo was setting up everybody. But he had 6 assists in that first quarter. He only had 2 assists the rest of the way. But I know what you're talking about. It's less about the offense. It's more about the defense. My concern with D'Angelo Russell, he's not been efficient at all this year so far. 3-point shooting tonight, he was 2 of 9. I always say this, and I've heard other people say it. As you guys know, in the past, I've worked with people that have played in the NBA, have played in the league. Michael Thompson I worked with for a number of years. And when a shot's not falling, it's easy for shooters to say, well, the next one's going to fall. But I think some of the best players, the highest IQ players in the league say, it's not that the next shot's not going to fall. It's I'm not in rhythm. So I'm going to stop jacking up some threes. I'm going to take a couple dribbles in. I'm going to try to get to the basket and get a layup if I can, or get to the free throw line, or take a 10-footer or a 12-footer or a 15-footer. They're not competing against themselves of saying to themselves, no. I don't care if that last shot didn't go in. I'm going to hit the next one. It's not that. It's you need to get back into a rhythm, and you got to feel good again. And D'Lo taking 9 threes and only hitting 2 of them obviously didn't help the Lakers. 5-13 from the field, and the guy is obviously not a defensive player. I'm going to get into some of the individual players. I'm going to do that in just a second, but I want to get a couple of more here. Let's see what we got here. D'Lo just isn't consistent every game. Yep, the Lakers fell to the jump shot tonight. I had a feeling when they were taking a bad jump shot, it was going to cost them. What did they end up taking? How many threes the Lakers end up taking tonight? 3-point shooting, 11 of 36, about 30%. Or no, that was Phoenix. Lakers actually shot pretty damn good from 3. 14 of 32. I'll take that any day. You know what Phoenix did a good job on is they kept the Lakers off the free throw line. 13 of 18. That's nothing crazy. Lakers have had games where they're taking 30 free throws or whatever the case is. Phoenix was 18 of 20 from the free throw line, shot 90%. That's what happens when KD and Devin Booker and some of these other guys get to the free throw line. 12 turnovers, not bad for the Lakers, 11 for Phoenix. Look, this was anybody's game. I mean, if you want me to be completely honest about this game, it's not an awful loss. It's not a loss that we're going to look at and say, oh my God, I can't believe they lost to the Phoenix Suns on the road and they didn't go 4-0. I don't think anybody's going to be saying that. So that portion of it, I'm not concerned about. However, I think it was a very winnable game. And, the areas to me that stood out are areas that I wish, obviously the Lakers were a little bit more efficient on, were smarter on the offensive end. They had a timeout towards the end of the game. They cashed in on another good night from Anthony Davis, but they just didn't have it tonight. And that's going to happen in the NBA. That's the bottom line. All right. Let me get some of the individual players here real quick. So Anthony Davis, I really, so far this season, I have absolutely nothing to complain about when it comes to Anthony Davis. First game, he didn't drop 30. He had 29. But he also had 15 rebounds. He also had 3 block shots. Now, a lot of his damage came in that first quarter. I thought the Phoenix Suns, made some good adjustments and basically tried taking him out of the game. Used a couple different players, and I'm not telling you that this was the solution, but Yusuf Nurkic started the game. He didn't play more than Plumlee. So they were trying to use Plumlee, and Plumlee was a plus 23 when he was in the game. Mason Plumlee was a plus 23 when he was in the game. Yusuf Nurkic was a minus 20. Little adjustments like that will, if something's working, they're going to ride it, and that's exactly what the Phoenix Suns were doing. I'm not here to break down the Suns, but what happened to Yusuf Nurkic? That guy looks awful, almost unplayable at times. His confidence level looks awful. Everything he was doing looks awful. He was really, really, really bad for the Phoenix Suns tonight. So anyways, that's just one observation right there. But I got nothing to say about Anthony Davis. The only thing I have to say about Anthony Davis is the fact that it sucks that he has to sit out the game for 12 minutes a game, right? He's going to play you 36 minutes a game, 38 minutes a game, still very early in the season, and he has to take a rest. And when he takes a rest, the team is completely different. I mean, wildly different when Anthony Davis is not in that lineup. That's going to be an area the Lakers are just going to have to figure out. That's going to be an area where, a lot of teams deal with this in the NBA. When your star comes out, okay, what do you do? And they're going to have to weather the storm. And that's the best way that I could put it. They're going to have to weather the storm. That's actually not a bad example and an idea of eventually needing to improve your roster so that there isn't this drastic drop-off. Our other guys, when Vando comes back, will that be able to help? I think so. Christian Wood. Keep Christian Wood in mind. When Christian Wood comes back, I think he'll be able to help the Lakers. He's a vet, been in the league for a long time, can stretch the floor, can get to the basket, can give you some buckets, is another scoring option. But nothing and nobody will place Anthony Davis on whoever comes in. It's not going to be the skill set that Anthony Davis has. He had another 29, 15, and 3. You guys have heard me barking up this tree for a long time about Rui Hachimura. Rui's delivering. I got nothing but compliments for Rui Hachimura through the first 4 games. I think he's been fantastic. I think he's been wildly aggressive. I think he's been wildly comfortable with what he's doing on a night-in, night-out basis. I give this man a lot of credit what he's done so far. So if I could take another positive out of this game, one of the positives that I'd be taking out of this game is that Rui Hachimura looks like he's really ready to contribute for the Lakers. And maybe it's something JJ Redick is instilling some confidence in him. Maybe it's Rui Hachimura realizing, look at the options on this team. I'm one of the better options that this team has. He is. And he can get points not by just so much attention is going to go to LeBron and Anthony Davis, but he can also get buckets and get points and impact the game in so many different ways. He can crash the glass. He can play on the defensive side. He can be aggressive. I was at the game, Lakers versus the Sacramento Kings. It was one of the questions I asked JJ Redick about Rui, and what he wants him to do and how he wants to impact games, I feel like is exactly what Rui Hachimura is doing through the first 4 games. By the way, 10 rebounds for him. Took 18 shots. I mean, when I say he's not shy, he hasn't been shy, but I think that's what he's got to do. If Rui Hachimura is going to be a player that you can depend on a night in, night out basis, he's got to feel comfortable having the green light and saying, if I got something, let me fire. And he's been firing so far for the Lakers. So Rui was good. I mentioned LeBron's struggles. Only 11 points, had 8 assists, had 5 rebounds, 3 of 14 from the field, shot 50% from the free throw line, just 3 of 6, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. Not LeBron's night. Listen, if LeBron plays an average game, an okay game, Lakers probably win this game. If D'Angelo Russell, from shooting perspective, hits a couple more threes, Lakers probably win this game. But it wasn't meant to be. Another player that I'm a big fan of watching so far this year is Austin Reeves. Another 23 points for him, 8 rebounds and 3 assists. The issue for the Lakers, and as much as we've given a lot of credit to Dalton Connect and how comfortable he looks, Phoenix took him completely out of the game tonight. Completely out of the game. He only took a couple shot attempts, and they were 4 shot attempts. It almost was like, hey, I can't get a look, so when I get it, I'm going to rush to try to take my look. That was one of the threes that he took. But Lakers bench, no impact in this game. Jackson Hayes, minus 18. Gabe Vincent, minus 5. Max Christie, minus 13. Dalton Connect, minus 13. Lakers had nothing from their bench tonight. Can't have that. You're obviously going to need players. Royce O'Neal gave them 12. Dunn, the rookie, nice player, gave them 7. They had 22 off the bench. Grayson Allen only gave them 3, but they had 22 total. Lakers total, I think, had 8 was the points that they had the bench. That's not going to get it done. I think everybody knows that. All right, let's look at a couple more comments here. Rui is playing with an all-new confidence. It's been really, really good. Really, really good so far this year. And hopefully it's going to last because they're going to need him. Bargain Shopper almost had it. Bargain Shopper, you're right. They almost had it. But unfortunately, almost had it's not going to get them a W. It's not going to get them a W. We should have put pressure on the rim offensively with their lack of rim protection. Too much settling. Need more two-man. AR, D-Lo, Bron, AD. Pick and roll, I think he's talking about. Breaking it down there. We got basically that's coach talk right there. Who do you put the blame on? It's one loss. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you're pointing the fingers and you're saying, what the hell is wrong with the Lakers? I don't think that's happening. I'm not too concerned about that. But I will say we're so accustomed to LeBron playing well and him playing this poorly clearly hurt the Lakers. I want to see the other side of this because I didn't see individual players for Phoenix. KD smooth as hell, tough shots. There were times Lakers had good defense and Phoenix was just hitting tough shots, specifically KD. He had 30 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 block shots. Devin Booker, 33 points. So their 2 stars performed. And even Bradley Beal, whose percentage wasn't good, 15 points. So they got enough. And basically, Devin Booker, what you're hoping for when you play the Phoenix Suns is you can't have both guys go off. One of those guys have to go off. Lakers against Sacramento, both Anthony Davis and LeBron James went off with 30-plus points. You're probably not going to win a game against the Lakers if both of them are that good. To beat the Phoenix Suns, what you need is Kevin Durant can't shoot over 50% and drop 30 or more. Devin Booker can't shoot right around 50%. He was just under 50% and have 33-plus. Either one of those guys is taking a ton of shots, and yes, they get a lot of points, but they take so many shots to reach those points, as in just their efficient level isn't there. But you can't have both of them go off. They both went off, and that was enough for Phoenix to make it happen. But as far as the pointing the finger and who to blame, I don't know if I'm too concerned about that. Brandon, thank you, brother. Good to see you doing your thing, man. I appreciate it. Yes, every post-game show. So I'm going to be doing, for those who don't know that are here right now, I'm doing a morning show, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on YouTube. And I'm pretty much talking any of the sports that I think are relevant or predominantly what I think is of interest to LA, because I think this channel and my audience, so much of it has been Los Angeles. But there's going to be obviously a lot of Lakers content. But tomorrow I'll break down Dodgers taking a 3-0 lead on the Yankees, 1 game away from the World Series. Walker Buehler's performance earlier tonight. Freddie Freeman with another 2-run homer, really never allowing the Yankees to have any shot in that game. They're 1 win away now from a World Series. So I'll talk about that tomorrow, but I'll also have a lot of Laker topics as well. 8 a.m. is when I do my live show. And then, of course, I'm going to do the post-game show all season long. How can I not do the post-game? I mean, it's how the damn channel was built. This is why everybody's here. It's for the post-game. All right, let's keep seeing what's going on here. We are kind of a small forward power 3D players. Yeah, I think team's still kind of figuring out its identity. I will say this, and I don't want to make too big of have an overreaction on this, but I definitely think, starting to get guys back like Jared Vanderbilt and Christian Wood, you need those options. You just want these guys as options. Let me take a quick listen here. Anthony Davis is talking. Let's just take a quick listen here.
Shot straight down, what you try, and if you're able to get it, great. If not, you can foul quickly. But
he's talking about Bron's free throw. He was trying to miss.
The ball started bobbling everywhere, which wasted maybe like 4 seconds, off the clock, and they end up getting the ball and just throwing it ahead. So, there's nothing you can not really do about it. But that's the idea of trying to, get the ball back and score.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing that. That's courtesy of Spectrum SportsNet right there, so something to keep in mind. So I just want to play a little bit of that. This is another thing that I'll mention here. A couple things, actually. So number one, I think I'd mentioned to you guys, you got to go 3-2 on this road trip, and I think it's a good road trip. And you got a couple things, you got a couple games that are 100% going to be games that you're supposed to win. So I'm just going to put this in perspective here. I talked about this, I think this morning, that out of these 5 games that you're on the road, you got to go 3-2. 2 of them should be gimmies. I know there's no gimmies in the NBA, but you should beat Toronto and you should beat Detroit. Those are 2 games that you should win. And if you can do that, if you can hold serve in the 2 games that you're supposed to win, now you just got to win one of these 3 games at Phoenix, at Cleveland, or at Memphis. And that's what's kind of in the Lakers' cards right now. Unfortunately, they lost the first game already, which was at Phoenix. They got Cleveland coming up on Wednesday. And if I saw this right, I want to see this real quick, but I believe the Cleveland Cavaliers now are undefeated. If I heard Billy Mack say it right, I want to say that he said that they won against the Knicks earlier today. So let's take a quick look here. Yep, Celtics still undefeated. Cavs did beat the Knicks, so they're still 4-0. So they beat them 110-104. So the only teams now, after Lakers lose, that are undefeated, Cavs, who the Lakers got coming up on Wednesday, Boston, who's 4-0, OKC is still 3-0. They didn't play tonight. And obviously the Lakers just got their first loss. Phoenix is 3-1. Lakers are 3-1. So just to put it all into perspective, that's what it looks like. All right, here's one here. That's my point. When D'Lo isn't shooting good, he's basically unplayable. That's why Gabe Vincent was in. Yeah, Gabe Vincent's going to get opportunities. I'll tell you that right now. That's going to come. That has to come because I think JJ Redick's going to go with a player that he feels like's got more impact on the game. Just simple as that. I think that's what he's going to do on a night-in, night-out basis. Let's see what else we have here. Knicks lost. Giants lost. Yanks lost. New York City FC lost. Fat Joe lost. Bad day for New York. A lot of L's there. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm late. But D'Lo being the D'Lo we don't need, and Braun was no help tonight. It was bound to happen. Glad it did against Phoenix. We can bounce back against another team. Well, listen, I'm going to go back to this. I think everybody understands this. You're not going to go undefeated. We all get that. Phoenix is a good team. And when I say a good team, they're going to be like the Lakers. They're going to be fighting for that 5th spot, 6th spot. I think the Lakers are better than the Phoenix Suns. ESPN had their power rankings out. This was, I think, right before the season started. They had Phoenix in front of the Lakers, and they also had the Warriors in front of the Lakers. I disagreed. I thought the Lakers would be better than both of those teams. However, with that in mind, it's not like the Phoenix Suns are scrubs. It's not like this is a bad loss. Like this is the one thing that I was saying from the beginning. I said it to start the show. This wasn't Lakers just lost to the Portland Trailblazers, a game that they're supposed to win. It's a tough game. This is an interesting game. It's not it's certainly not a game that the Lakers were going to cruise across, and it was a tough game. So I don't look at this loss as a bad loss. The only thing that I think puts a bad taste in my mouth is they 100% had a shot to win the game. They had their chances, and they weren't able to come through. Halloween plans, costumes, so many parties, bro. So many. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like flying out to Vegas, and then from Vegas, I'm going straight to Reno. There's another party, then straight down to Mexico in Ensenada. So many different costumes, too. So many different costumes. I got so many costumes all laid out. It's going to be crazy, man. I mean, I'll be so lucky to remember any of it. So lucky to remember it. Halloween's just that's my holiday. Traveling around to different colleges. I'm going to be everywhere, guys. Everywhere. All right, see what else we got here. People talking about the Dwayne. Okay, I talked about this morning. What the hell is that statue? Does somebody want to tell me what that statue is? I still don't know what that statue is. I saw this morning, or I saw an article that Dwayne Wade was trying to defend it, kind of like, hey, it's all good. Let's all take a look at it real quick here together. I shared it this morning because I thought it was I still can't understand. What is this thing? How is this Dwayne Wade? How is that somebody younger than 60? What am I looking at here? Am I losing it? I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I thought I read this right. I think it's the same person who did the statues for Michael Jordan and for Kobe. So it's not like there were two guys that I think did it. And I think they worked with Dwayne Wade in putting it together. I don't know. I think Dwayne Wade was saying that it's supposed to be a work of art, is what he was trying to say. So, all right, if it's a work of art, then it's a work of art. But I thought it was, I'm not kidding. I kind of thought it was a prank. I thought it was a prank. I was like, no, that can't be it. Oh, everybody's going to be so angry that this is what's going down. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody out there that looked at that statue and said, hey, that's Dwayne Wade. I have no idea who it is. The best thing that I've seen is somebody putting up an Antoine Walker photo when he was in a Heat jersey next to it. And I'm like, yeah, that's Antoine Walker got a statue. All right. One other thing, I kind of want to go through this real quick here in the NBA. Let's take a look. Couple of the scores around the NBA. I don't know how you guys are. I mean, of course, I had the World Series game on as well. Again, I'm not going to get into it because I know I'll just kind of save all that for tomorrow. But the Dodgers are one game away from winning the World Series. Not shocked that they won tonight, to be honest with you. They're just demoralizing the Yankees. I think Freddie Freeman's grand slam in game one ended the series. I think if Yankees win that game, they're probably got a ton of momentum, but the way they lost and everything else. All right, couple scores around the NBA, just something to look at. The Knicks are now 1-2. Denver, can I ask you guys a question? I know this is a Los Angeles Lakers postgame show, but I'm just curious here. Are the Nuggets kind of done? Let me tell you what I mean by done. I'm not saying that they're not going to be competitive. I'm not saying that they're not going to be in the playoffs, but is the Denver Nuggets team that just rolled through the NBA a couple years ago, was that a one and done, or is it going to take some type of a big trade? They beat the Raptors today in overtime. They got their first win of the season. They're 1-2. They don't look impressive. They don't look like they're, something special by any stretch of the imagination. Mavs won again. They're 2-1. Let's see who else won. Kings now. They got their first win of the season. They're 1-2. They beat the Blazers. Rockets over the Spurs, so Rockets are 2-2. So I'm just looking at basically games. Memphis is 2-2. I haven't really paid too much attention to them, but they lost to the Bulls at home. Just looking at some of these Western Conference teams. Boston beat Milwaukee 119-108. They're clearly the class of the NBA. And then one team that I think is becoming more and more exciting in the NBA, Orlando. They got an interesting team there of what they're doing. Nuggets have nothing going on when Jokic sits. Nuggets lost KCP. They have Westbrook. Yeah, that not only did they, I'd go back to, this is the perfect comment here. They just got no depth. There's nobody there. Remember, they lost Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, and now KCP. So they've lost some key pieces. Okay, you guys got some Laker questions for me? Anything Lakers you guys want to hit on? I think, my overall theme for tonight's game, Lakers lose, obviously. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, a couple different times, but the final score was 109-105. First loss of the season for the Lakers. Tremendous start to the season, even with this L. If you told me they were starting the season out 3-1, I would take it. I would tell Laker fans, you should feel good about that. You should feel encouraged about that. But my overall takeaway tonight, the Lakers are in serious trouble when Anthony Davis is not in that lineup. And when he sits down to take that 5-6 minute stretch, and tonight is a perfect example of it, they went on what was the exact total? A 17-3 run without Anthony Davis. And even in the fourth quarter, Lakers, that end of the third to the start of the fourth quarter, Lakers would build a lead, and then it would be gone when Anthony Davis sits. And I get it. JJ Redick's got to kind of take his chances there. But that's going to be a concern for the Lakers. What do you do when Anthony Davis is trying to get a breather? And what lineups are going to make most sense? LeBron clearly did not have it tonight. I mentioned it a little bit earlier in the show. Just felt like he had absolutely no legs tonight, and his play showed it. Just 3 of 14 from the field. Barely got to double digits. We know that streak's been going on since 2007. Some positives, I would say. Reeves still looking good. Rui Hachimura still looking good. D'Lo's got some work to do, just 2 of 9 from the three-point line. I feel like there's definitely some fans that are frustrated with D'Angelo Russell already early in the season. I hope he can turn it around because the Lakers need him. And then no contributions from the Lakers bench at all. I know I'm being blunt there, but no contributions in my opinion at all. Man, it's funny to see people funny when people hate on LeBron. I never really understood that. Basically, people saying that Bron is whatever he's done in his career has not been good enough. I always kind of find that funny. Denver can have Russ all day. Yeah, I don't think anybody's missing that. Jokic is manifesting that they're done. All right, those are a couple of the Nugget stuff. Breaking. Sliwa signs on a 2-way. Yeah, then we're really in trouble there. D'Lo, no team wants to trade for, so we are kind of stuck with D'Lo. The one thing D'Lo does have that I think will be of interest to other teams, it's going to be as simple as this. It's just the mere fact that D'Angelo Russell has an expiring contract. So that could be of interest. D'Lo, listen, if it's not with the Lakers, that man needs to find a home where there's a team that says, hey, we want D'Angelo Russell to be our guy, want D'Angelo Russell to be our player. So that's going to be something that obviously we'll see what happens. I mean, I got no idea what will happen, but his start to the season has been average. It's been okay. what I really just want him to do is just shoot efficiently. If he can hit some of these shots that he's hit for the Lakers last year, it changes everything. Could be a game changer, but I don't know if that's going to happen. This is also a man that I feel like every single year is in trade conversations, and I'm sure there's going to be times that come where, he's probably telling himself, like, does this team even want me? More people on the statue. Looks like Seal, okay? Could be one. I don't understand the statue. I don't get that statue. So I don't think anybody gets it. Perhaps D-Wade can age into looking like his statue. Okay, that could be it as well. All right, I think we are good for tonight. I'm back on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I will be talking some more Lakers. I will be talking some more really just any of the stuff that's, obviously relevant from a local basis. So I'll be doing that, talking more SoCal. Suns over the Lakers, 109-105, the final score. First loss of the season for the Lakers, and they'll regroup. Next game is going to be in Cleveland. Not going to lie to you, that's going to be a tough game. Maybe the game that I'm talking about Lakers are going to need to get is going to be the last 3 games of the regular season, because Cleveland looks like they're, off to a good start. They're playing some good ball right now. They're 4-0. If I said you got to get those 2 guaranteed games, which is Toronto and Detroit, and you need 1 game after that, maybe if it's not Cleveland, it's going to have to be Memphis. It would be disappointing for the Lakers to start the season out 3-0 and then go on this road trip and go 2-3 or 1-4, something along those lines. But I think that's an overreaction for now. They got their next game coming up on Wednesday against the Cavs, and I'll make sure to have the post-game show for you guys. So thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. If you're not there for that, I'll be back for the next post-game show. Lakers will take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's going to be an early start, by the way, just something to keep in mind. The next game against the Cavs, I want to say it's a 4 o'clock tip-off. Yeah, 4 o'clock. So we'll probably be doing the post-game show around 6:30 or 7, somewhere around there. All right, Lake fans, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Get back with you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Laker fans.